This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 22nd day of June in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana Elections Commission this afternoon agreed to send the Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield, his Deputy Roxanne Myers, and the Region 4 Returning Officer Clermont Mingo on leave, pending a decision on whether the Commission will debate and decide on a motion to dismiss them. The leave is annualized leave. During today's meeting of the Elections Commission, the APNU-AFC nominated commissioners argued that since the motion really provides for a hearing to be conducted to decide on its contents, that hearing should not be conducted by persons who have made clear their bias in the matter. Commissioner Vincent Alexander.
If the people are having a hearing, then natural justice should prevail, and natural justice does not provide the people who are biased to be involved in a hearing, and that they are biased because they originated the charges and they have made public statements on how this matter should be concluded. Therefore, they are biased and should not be party to the hearing.
2 weeks ago, the PP Civic Government nominated commissioners on the Elections Commission moved a motion calling for the dismissal of the three officials over allegations about their handling of various matters during last year's elections and their alleged involvement in fraud and misconduct in public office related to the same elections. Those matters are currently before the courts. Commissioner Alexander said it is clear that those who have already exhibited their views on the matter could not be expected to conduct a fair hearing in the same matter. The opposition-nominated commissioners said the Elections Commission should await the outcome of the court matters before it even examines the motion calling for the officials to be dismissed.
What we propose is that they couldn't be involved in the process of a hearing. We even said that the possibility is we could await the court and then import the court's decision into our process.
Question about whether the statutes governing GCOM would allow for the setting up of a tribunal to look into the allegations in the motion and determine an outcome, Mr. Alexander said GCOM is governed by the laws of Guyana.
And once you get to something called a hearing, it is the common law that steps in, and the common law is unequivocal about there being no bias in such a process. So while there may be no statute specifying that, the GCOM is not alien to the common law, and therefore the common law in the circumstances is the one that regulates this question of natural justice and a hearing and should prevail.
Meanwhile, PP Civic Government nominated commissioner says Kunraj believes that a commission could deal with the motions that have been placed before it.
The opposition has suggested, advocated, whatever you want to call it, that GCOM does not have the power to hear or should not hear the motions against these three persons, and that a tribunal should be set up. That, of course, was vehemently objected to by the three government commissioners. Subsequently, the chairman there was a lot of back and forthing on it. The chairman has deferred her ruling on it, but in the interregnum, the three persons are sent on leave.
Mr. Gunraj said he's hoping a decision on how the matter will be dealt with is made soon and the commission can move on.
I'm hoping that a date is set in short order for a decision or a ruling from the chairman, and then the motions can be debated and determined.
The GCOM commissioner said he believes the motions before the commission speak for themselves in relation to the issues brought against the three GCOM officials. GCOM Chairman retired Justice Claudette Singh has not indicated when she intends to hand down her decision on how the commission should deal with the motions, seeking to remove the three GCOM senior officials. Just after the motions were presented to the commission, the chairman wrote to the Chief Elections Officer and the deputy requesting that they show cause why they should not be dismissed. The two have since responded to the chairman's request. More news coming up in just a moment.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together we rise.
I'm Joseph Harmon, leader of the opposition, and I'm here to encourage all Guyanese to take the COVID 19 vaccine. In the coming days, we will be rolling out a few activities as part of our increased efforts to help us fight against this deadly virus. Join us as we come together to protect ourselves and our loved ones. None of us are protected unless all of us are protected. Get vaccinated today, protect you, and protect your loved ones.
Sonia, you think people easy? People just really want to do their own thing. Look across the road how we building the house low. The building code say you're supposed to be 2 feet off the ground.
And when the place flood, them just be the first to complain.
But you know sometimes we that just contribute to the flooding with we behavior.
We know by. We just throw things in the drains and canals. We don't keep the gutters clean and dispose of garbage properly. By the way, you got an emergency kit?
Yeah, Sonia, I got me own and it got drinking water, army medicines, and for say things like band-aids, iodine, bandages.
And me own got in toothpaste, a change of underwear and clothing, toilet paper and soap.
Guyana, our country, our responsibility.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health this afternoon released a document from the Russian Direct Investment Fund confirming the number of Sputnik vaccines sold to Guyana and their corresponding batch numbers. Based on the information provided, Guyana received a total of 305,536 Sputnik vaccines. Of that number, 244,268 were first dose vaccines, while the country only received 61,268 of the second dose. There are still 183,000 of the needed second dose vaccines to be delivered, and it remains unclear as to when those vaccines will be delivered. But with the provision of the information from the Russian Direct Investment Fund, the government is hoping that the opposition leader Joe Harmon will now withdraw his call for the use of the vaccines to be suspended. Mr. Harman last week demanded that more information be provided on the vaccines delivered to Guyana after an international report by a newspaper in Norway named Guyana as one of the countries that were sold the vaccines by the middleman at double the cost. The Guyana government confirmed that it paid more than double the price recommended for the vaccine, but has explained that it was finding it difficult to source the vaccine directly from the manufacturer. Earlier today, before the government statement with the Russian document was released, the opposition leader reiterated his call for the government to provide the information on the vaccine.
I reiterate and reaffirm our position for the suspension of the administering of the Sputnik V vaccines, which were procured from one Sheikh Ahmad Dalmouk Al Maktoum, until credible information can be provided about the vaccine's authenticity and safe storage. I have articulated a single, unflinching and unchanging position on this issue since the shocking revelations were made in the National Assembly by the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony.
Mr. Harman said he is not against vaccinations, but the government must answer questions pertaining to the vaccine and its procurement. Let's tell you now that the Ministry of Health here in Guyana has been facilitating the vaccination of staffers attached to Caribbean Airlines from Trinidad and Tobago, especially members of the airline's flight crew. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony today confirmed that the airline recently requested some assistance in getting staff members vaccinated. Trinidad and Tobago has been facing vaccination woes of its own, with mostly the elderly being given preference.
We did receive a letter from the airlines to ask us whether or not we can assist with vaccination of their staff, and we agreed. So we have been working when the staff come into one of our vaccination sites, we provide the vaccines for them.
And this evening, there are reports that in the past few weeks, there have been a number of other Caribbean nationals, including prominent Trinidadians, who were able to fly into Guyana, receive the first shot of one of the coronavirus vaccines, and leave. The health minister said the vaccination program in Guyana is a very open one.
We have basically a very open policy, so we don't check to see which nationality you are before you can get a vaccine, and so our policy has been very open, and I think a number of Caribbean nationals who are here in Guyana will have benefited from the vaccination program. For us to achieve herd immunity, it means that the people who are here should get vaccinated, and so if they're residing in Guyana, then we don't have a problem giving them the vaccine.
Guyana has been administering 3 of the COVID-19 vaccines, Sinopharm, AstraZeneca, and Sputnik V. The minister did not say which of the 3 vaccines was administered to the Caribbean Airlines staffers and the other persons who flew in to get vaccinated. Guyana is currently experiencing a shortage of the second dose of the Sputnik vaccine, with more than 100,000 persons in the waiting line for the critical second shot. And with the World Health Organization still to grant approval for the Sputnik vaccine, a number of countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, do not recognize the Sputnik vaccine as one of the vaccines that travelers could present as a certificate in order to gain hassle-free entry. In the courts, almost 4 years after their arrest over a botched attempted robbery at Republic Bank in Water Street, 3 men walked free this morning after the presiding magistrate accepted their attorneys' no-case submissions. Former police officers Anthony Blackman and Gladstone George and former Republic Bank staffer Sean Grimmond were charged in July 2017 for the attempted robbery of the bank. The 3 men had always maintained their innocence. The attempted bank robbery left the main suspect, Elton Ray, dead after a shootout with security. Another man, Jamal Haynes, admitted to the crime and was jailed for 6 years. Haynes was an employee at the bank at the time. In court this morning, the magistrate accepted that enough evidence had not been put forward by the prosecutor to hold on to the case against the 2 ex-policemen and the other former bank employee. The 3 were represented by attorneys Dexter Todd, Leslie Sobers, and Roger Yearwood. Another accused, Kieron Saunders, will have to face a full trial as the magistrate refused to accept the no-case submission put forward for him. He's now expected to go to trial soon. The attempted robbery at the bank's Wall Street location played out before scores of customers. As 3 of the men attempted to carry out the robbery, alert security officers raised an alarm and got into a shootout with the men. Ray held one of the bank employees hostage and he ran across the road from the bank, but he was later shot and the 2 accomplices arrested. Within the days, the police arrested a number of other suspects and marched them all before the court to face charges. As the country continues to assess the damages caused by one of the worst flood situations, President Irfan Ali has started to reach out for international assistance to bring relief to those affected. The president today met virtually with the president of the Islamic Development Bank, Dr. Bandar Hajar, and his team to discuss intervention measures and the bank's support in wake of the recent floods across Guyana. The president pointed out that the need for aids to farmers to restore their productive capacity, support for drainage and irrigation initiatives, and further strengthening of the national drainage system are among the needed relief. In a release, the president said discussions were also centered on assistance for the affected hinterland and riverine communities. Those areas, he explained, depend predominantly on the mining and forestry sectors. President Ali noted the need for critical interventions for the restoration of river dams, hinterland roads, and bridges, many of which were destroyed and remain submerged. He has assured that a technical team from Guyana will mobilize and gather all necessary information to accelerate the implementation of the interventions raised. While water has been slowly receding in some communities, other communities are still inundated. Millions of crops and livestock were lost due to the extent of the flooding, and mining activities in some regions have come to a complete halt.
You see them children playing in the dirty water again?
You know me talk to them this morning, like them don't understand.
Every time it flood, they just want to go in the flood waters. They think this thing is fun. You could get serious diseases in the water. And if an electrical line fall in the water, you could get electrocuted. Little boy, you want to tell you not to play in that water? Come here this minute.
You see the water don't start coming in the house? When you're living in a downstairs, you just got to take precautions.
That is right. You got to make sure there's a pair of long boots for every member of the family. Protect drinking water from contamination. Keep a stock of foods that can't spoil. And have some place to go if your place flood out.
Guyana, our country, our responsibility.
At Sosh Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sosh Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together, we rise.
Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyola's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
I am Anne Green from Director of Children's Services from the Child Care and Protection Agency. I just had my vaccination and I'm encouraging other persons to come out. COVID-19 is really getting serious, so I'm encouraging persons to come out and get your vaccination.
Across the region tonight, the Bahamas government says it will file an appeal with the London-based Privy Council after the Court of Appeal affirmed a landmark Supreme Court ruling allowing Bahamian men to automatically pass citizenship on to their children, regardless of whether that child is born out of wedlock to a non-Bahamian mother. Attorney General Carl Bettel said that the ruling will be appealed based on the division among the 5 judges who heard the case. He said the Court of Appeal was clearly divided on the matter, and the order now demands a full appeal to the Privy Council. Justices Maureen Crane Scott, John Isaacs, and Roy Jones upheld Justice Ian Winder's ruling, while Court of Appeal President Sir Michael Burnett and Justice Milton Evans dissented. Attorney Wayne Monroe, who brought the case, said the practical implications of the ruling now have immediate effect. In 2016, Bahamians in a referendum rejected the idea of amending the Constitution to allow Bahamian fathers of children born out of wedlock to non-Bahamian mothers to automatically pass citizenship to their children. Legal observers said that the case revolves around the interpretation of Article 6 of the Bahamian Constitution and whether the reference to father in Article 14.1 of the document is applicable when interpreting Article 6. In Barbados, there is no more curfew and entertainment restrictions have been eased. This was the news announced yesterday by the Prime Minister Mia Mottley as she updated the country on the major changes to the upcoming COVID-19 directives, which will take effect on the 30th of June. The change, the Prime Minister said, would usher in an end to the Thursday to Sunday curfew, as well as the resumption of parties with a capacity of 150 people. Attendees must be vaccinated or have received a negative PCR test 48 hours prior to the event. There is also consideration being given to a return to spectator sports by the 16th of July. The Prime Minister, who was addressing the country virtually, also disclosed that Barbados would once more be instituting a regional travel bubble for vaccinated tourists from jurisdictions determined to be low risk by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The bubble will include Grenada, Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, Anguilla, Montserrat, British Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, Cayman Islands, and Bermuda. And finally tonight, international news. Taliban fighters have seized dozens of districts in Afghanistan as they step up attacks during the final withdrawal by foreign troops, the UN has warned. The insurgents have taken more than 50 of the 370 districts since May. UN Special Envoy Deborah Lyons told the Security Council, warning of dire scenarios. She said increased conflict means increased insecurity for many other countries near and far. The US and NATO are still aiming for a complete troop pullout by the 11th of September. However, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby said the situation remained dynamic, and although the Taliban gains had not changed the withdrawal, there was still the flexibility to alter its pace and scope. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.